All right, so today's the big day. I'm in Panama City and I have to deal with the shipping to get my bike over the Darién Gap. My original plan pre-COVID was to use the steel rat, however you pronounce it, the sailboat that you could put the bike on and yourself sail through the sandblast. Sounded like a blast. Unfortunately, they've sold that boat and that's no longer an option. I've also heard, I've not confirmed this myself, but a few people have told me that since COVID, Colombia stopped allowing officially bikes to be imported on the sailboat. So I don't know how true that is. I've been looking at a few other different options, and then I was going to get myself on a sailboat because it just sounds so cool, but because I don't plan ahead, they're all sold out for like the next month and a half, so that's not possible. So I'm going to be going to the Overland Embassy today. Since the Strelat got sold, that's who I've been sort of seeing and hearing everywhere, most people using to get across the gap. So we're going to go to the Overland Embassy. They had two options. One was like a shared container to Cartagena. Takes about 2 weeks without any shipping delays that are sort of out of their control. Don't like the idea of the shipping delays. The other option is to fly it to Bogota. It only takes 3 days. It's not much more expensive once you factor everything in. It actually works out cheaper if you don't factor in the accommodation in Cartagena. So I'm going to be flying the bike to Bogota. I do feel like I'm cheating a little bit because I'm not actually going overland the whole way, but what are you going to do? Got to get around it, and I think the journey is impressive and fun enough that I can live with the fact that I feel like I'm cheating a little bit. All right, so let's go to the Overland Embassy and hopefully everything goes smoothly. All right, we made it to the Overland Embassy. What a cool place, just with a bunch of other people shipping their bikes. Let's go check it out. All right, so Alejandro and the team at Overland Embassy taking good care of me.
Hey.
And yeah, so now we're gonna go to the airport, drop the bike off, and I'm sure it'll be a nice, smooth process, right?
Yep.
All right, so I made it to the warehouse in Panama City. I left my bike, left all my riding gear, my boots, my jacket, my pants, my helmet, and hopefully I see it all again in Bogota. Hopefully. Bye. You've been a good bike. All right, now do the paperwork. All right, little word to the wise. Anytime you're crossing any of these borders and you're doing the paperwork, when they issue you the paperwork, before you walk away, check everything. Check your passport number, check your plate number, check the VIN number, check everything. I've had it a few times, so they've misread a number or they've mistyped a number, and it hasn't caused me any problems yet. I missed it once. I think Nicaragua, they had a different plate number. But you just don't want it to cause a problem. Like, it didn't cause me a problem, but you never know when they're gonna latch onto something. It just creates a big nightmare. So they had the plate number wrong. It was a A instead of a 4. So just make sure that you're always double checking and have all the right paperwork. All right, so in saying be careful about the numbers, I didn't even realize when I entered Panama, they read the 4 as an A on the plate. So yeah, that was a problem. The 4 on the plate was an A on the paperwork. So I had them change it. I said, no, that's not right. It's not an A, it's a 4. So I went back and changed it. And then thank God, the guy who was driving around, Alejandro's father, said, well, what's on your paperwork? And when I checked the paperwork, it was an A. So he left it as an A. I've got the bike stamped out of Panama, so that won't be a problem. And I just have to make sure when I get to Colombia that I make sure all the numbers are correct. So make sure, because again, had I changed it to a 4, and then they would have entered in the computer, so why is it a 4, and then it's an A, and the bike's not there, and it just would have been a problem. So other than that, everything went very, very smoothly. Shout out to Overland Embassy, Alejandro, Darwin, and to Padre. Gracias para todos. And I highly recommend them as long as I get the bike in Bogota. Really simple. They just drove me around after we dropped the bike off, went into the aduana, they checked the paperwork, stamped it, good to go, drove me back. Really, really simple. Highly recommend it, and I'll check in when I get to Bogota. All right, so I've made it to Bogota with my friend Willie.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
And Willie works with Overland Embassy. He's collected me from the airport a couple days ago, and my bike has now arrived in Bogota. So I've actually taken about 2 weeks off of riding. Visited around Colombia, went to Cartagena and Barranquilla, visited a friend. My sister came and visited me. But we're back on the road, gonna go collect the bike. So I will walk you through that. It should be a fairly straightforward process. I'm expecting a couple hours. The only aside is that when I went up to Cartagena and Barranquilla, I rented a car because I didn't have the moto, and the driving, out of all the places I've been in Latin America so far, the driving was by far the absolute craziest. It was just, words can't describe how crazy it was. So should make for some interesting riding. Around here it doesn't seem quite as bad. With the moto you have a little bit more maneuverability. But off to the airport, and hope everything goes good. All right, so made it to the airport, and thank God I got my friend Willie. He's just gonna walk me through it. Said it should be a couple hours. And yeah, I think first we go, don't really know, maybe find out. I don't know if we go first to the cargo place, first to the Aduana. I suspect it's the Aduana to do all the paperwork for the import of the motorcycle. So let's go. Okay, first I get my visitor pass to get in the port, and now we get into the cargo terminal. Okay, so we got to the airport. Had to go and register myself, give the passport. They gave me a visitor pass to get into the cargo area here where we are. And then we went to the DHL office, paid them 219,000 pesos. So what's that's about 15, 30, about 60 to $70 Canadian, I think, doing the quick math in my head. To release it, get the forms to release it, and then now we go, I guess, to try and find the bike and deal with the Aduana. Thank God, so all the other border crossings I didn't use any help. This one I paid Overland to help me on this side as well. Like, it would be quite confusing, even just navigating around. It's just such a big place. It's not like crossing the land borders where it's clearly demarked building. You go to one, go to the other, it's easy. Here you go, all different offices all over the place, so the help is really needed. Okay, so I had a couple small little problems, all fixed though. William took care of it. There was the issue with my wrong plate number, we got that fixed. And then they wouldn't let us into the cargo area to get the bike because I don't have a jacket and a hat and boots and all that. But obviously I'm not gonna have that. It's never been a problem. Like, I was just really rude for whatever reason. But I think we've all got it fixed, and I'm gonna hopefully go pick up my bike. Still just waiting at the secret entrance since we couldn't get in the main entrance. They told us to come in this one, but we're between two trucks. We gotta wait till this one unloads and hop in the door, not the real entrance.
Derechito, derechito. Más, ahí.
There she is.
Ya han viajado por varios países. Sí, ¿va para Barranquilla eso? Estamos retirando Camotito el día 8 de febrero. Que la reclame, pero lo único que me aparece es son las que te hacen directamente al...
¡Qué bueno!
Carga la muerte atrás. Muchas gracias, pa. Mañana vengo por la otra. Y para la otra semana hay como 8.
All right, so I've successfully got my moto into Colombia. It was pretty painless. Adios, Willie. It was pretty painless. Thank God I had somebody to walk me through. It was a lot more complicated than the sort of land border crossings. Just back and forth, DHL. They didn't want to let us in without boots and stuff. It was a little confusing. I'm glad I had help with this one. But thanks to everybody at the Overland. They made it smooth and painless. And yeah, hopefully this was helpful or entertaining or something. And I'm gonna go now, drop my bike to get some repairs done. I need to get some stuff done. I found the one Honda shop. All the other Honda shops in the city only worked on small bikes, but Honda Dream in Bogota, I walked in, there was about 15 Africa Twins, so I have full confidence in them working on my little Africa Twin. All right, thanks for checking in. You can subscribe or like, whatever, and check in with the next video.